right, next team up is Bedford Bombers. I'm here with their captain, Albert Dweck. I know you're dying to start with a rundown of the team, so I'll let you start.
Okay, I appreciate it. So, first time captain, super excited. So I guess I'll go a little bit into the team. I want to say if my team is watching this, it's very fluid. I'm making it up as we go, so we'll figure it out as we go. Also, I'll preface, Salim's actually not going to be there week 1. We're playing Morty, I know. And I'm questionable for week 2, my wife just told me. So Salim's actually going to be out week 1, which I'm playing, I know Morty, I'm playing you, but it's going to give me a shot. We're still working on a sub. I have 2 potential people lined up, or I'm pitching, that we're going to figure out, which lets me play a little bit more with the lineup. In terms of my thoughts when I'm going into it, I'm really in terms of the top of my lineup, these 2 areas here and here are very interchangeable because I heard great things about Freddie, great things about Salim. So if they live up to the expectations that I've been hearing, the top's movable. I don't care to move down, I don't care to move up. And the same thing about him in center. If he could handle center and he could stick in center, he'll stick in center. If not, then I'll go to center and we'll see how it goes. It's not like if he can't do it, then I'm going to move him and sit him on the bench. It's just you have to see how he adjusts to a new field, new league, new atmosphere. It's definitely also going to get tough with the pitches and the angles, by Canarsie. So you have to see how he experiences it. And it's all movable, right? That's what we want to do week 1, week 2. We'll feel out, get the kinks out, move back in, get the kinks out, and see where we go. I guess that's my preface, but now I'm already ripping apart. Go ahead.
Okay, no problem. I lost the iPad. Let me just get it back up. Okay, so I like to start on every team on the mound. He was your first round pick.
Yes.
So we're expecting a lot out of him. I think right off the bat, he's the obvious X factor of this team. If he is everything people say he is, this team is going to go a really long way.
Yeah, but put a question mark even because he's never pitched in the league. I've never seen him pitch.
I hear some guys say he's amazing. I hear some guys say he's only ever pitched 1 game at a time, never pitched 2 games at a time. So I know that's definitely.
But it calls me back to almost like a Emin Beta. Remember when we played with him in the night league? He only played.
Yes.
When we played by what's it called, the Kings Bay Field, by Coyle.
Yes,
and he came to us, and I remember my first game playing with him, and we finished the first game, and he's like, "Oh, there's a second one." He never pitched 2 before. Oh. He got tired, but at the end of the day, he did it once, and then he got used to it. You learn how to conserve a little bit. I don't think it should be such a challenge for him. He's a young guy, 17. I think he'll be able to handle it.
I think that at least for the first few weeks, as an opposing team, I would definitely say to be on the lookout for a drop off in velocity, a drop in location as we go, just because you're doubling his pitch count. It's
definitely also a minus that he's missing that first week, which is always, get the kinks out week 1. It's the ramp up. It's almost like a spring training. So I hear you.
All right. Well, I'll start off with what I love about this defense. I think that this is probably on paper the best infield in the league, between Mickey, who's a shortstop, between Mike, who's a shortstop, between Albert, who could play shortstop. This is ridiculous. This is a filthy infield.
And Hammer at first base.
Hammer at first base. Probably, he won Gold Glove last year, so that's, I want to use black. He won Gold Glove last year, so you have the best at that position. And Moko and Joseph, you can kind of now hide them at second base almost with the amount of range between these 3 guys. You're talking about 3 guys that can literally play shortstop.
And I got to tell you, in the playoffs last year, Joey Haber actually robbed me of a base hit going. I've never seen him make a defensive play before, and that was one before he got hurt. Yes. Going into the hole, made a play when we were trying to go the other way. So listen, hopefully if you could surprise him and Moko, it's a great sign.
I think that just having these 3 guys takes a lot of pressure off whoever plays second base, just because they know. I'm assuming whoever's playing up the middle will be shading more to this side, because Mike can cover this.
Exactly. That's the goal.
But obviously, looking at the outfield, we're starting to see, how do they get all these shortstops? Well, the outfield is a little bit questionable here. Another X Factor type guy. We don't know anything. Can he play center field? We don't know.
I've been told from multiple sources that he's capable of playing center. He's a super athletic guy, fast, rangy. But again, I've never seen him play. He seems like a nice guy from the chats. But listen, that's why it's the first week is when I get out, I get to see him. I wanted to play with him today. The weather was iffy. I wasn't feeling so well. I was on babysitting duty, so it was rough to get out on the field today. But listen, I hope to see him before. But if not, that's what we have week 1 for, right? Even your team last year, we had a week 1. We had a so the outfield was suspect. Then we ended up with a 2nd seed. So We'll figure it
besides week 1, when you do have Salim back, I would maybe consider you yourself going out here, maybe to center field or left field, just because you did a serviceable job last year in center field. It's a tough position to just jump into, and you did a good job at it. Ovaji plays left field. I thought you guys said first base.
No, I was
Left fielder.
from,
Outfield.
I was told from Joey from the Hammer that he plays outfield and he has a great glove out there.
Speedy, right? Speedy.
Yeah,
Okay.
he told me he's a speedy guy. Played in the league 2 years ago.
Gotcha.
And he was able to handle it out there. And I feel like in left field also, it's much more forgiving in this league. It's just play as deep as you can.
Yeah.
If he has speed, he'll be able to come in and play balls that are coming in. So the goal there is not to let anything beat you over your head. Let Salim attack hitters, go inside.
Okay. So it sounds like he's more proven than I thought he was, so that's good. So at least your left field is covered. It's center field that, me personally, after week 1, if this doesn't work, I would
100%. That's the
make
goal.
a switch there.
Yeah, if it doesn't work week 1, then I'm going to center. Then I'm going to cycle and rotate who's going to be playing short center and figure that out on the fly. Maybe Freddie could play, he'd be down for speed, maybe we get a ground ball.
Moko, Joey.
Yeah, maybe Moko could play up there, Joey could play up there. I'd be okay. That's why I sort of put myself in the middle here. It's because I'll go wherever needed. If Mickey'd rather play up the middle and wants me to play third, I'll play third. If I want to go to center, I can go to center. I just have to, like, the first week for me is just wait and see. I want to see how everyone plays. I'll figure it out. We'll figure out how we play together, and then I'll plug where it's needed.
Nissim Faham and Joseph Dweck behind the plate, or possibly Joseph Dweck in right field with Hammy.
Right.
I've seen some videos of Hammy. I haven't seen him field the ball, so again, another guy who...
I heard from
I'm
DT,
just
I guess
not
this is
sure.
a call out to Hammy. I heard from DT that it's that's an adventure, so hopefully we avoid any any issues out there. But listen, I'm looking forward to see him.
All right, not what you love to hear, but worst case,
Listen, I'm confident.
You're telling me that Joe, your brother, Joseph,
Mhm.
has pitched and played catcher. He's never played the outfield.
No, he's played the outfield.
And
So
serviceably.
he starts in right field on a high school team. He's 16 years old. So he's 16, but he starts for his high school in right field in baseball. And he pitches actually for Flatbush now in softball. So listen, I want to see how he plays out there in right field. I've never seen him play. There's a disclaimer to the league. I've never seen him play before. He's 10 years younger than me. And listen, I want to throw him out there and see how he does. So let's see.
Okay.
And if not, he could also catch. So that's also, when I drafted Nissim, and I guess this is also to Nissim, that I told him that he wouldn't be catching both games.
Right.
He was okay with catching one. I will work it out as the season goes on. If he's head and shoulders above everybody else, I'm sure he sounds like a guy that'll do what's best for the team. But as we go, I do not want to have him play both at catcher. I want to give him some time somewhere else, and we'll figure out how to slot him there. But in terms of like starting catcher, game 1, he's going to be starting.
Gotcha. I think that for the most part, this defense, if Freddie comes through and can play, this is going to be a defense to beat. If not, you can definitely salvage it by putting yourself out there, and then we get to go to the real, what I think is like the real strength of this team. This 1 through 4 here, even 5, depending on what Salim gives you and what Freddie gives
4-6
you.
with Freddie, exactly.
And even Nissim over here, down here at 464. I think Ovaja hit 400 and Joseph and Moko hit 381.
And also, I gotta say about Freddie, just to hype him up a little bit to get him excited for the season, a lot of the stats and a lot of things about DSL had 2 draft picks go in the first round from performance in DSL. If you look at the stats, I don't know how accurate that they were keeping, but Freddie never hit under 500 in DSL.
Wow. Okay.
So that's also like something that I looked into before I was drafting. Listen, if he could live up to anywhere near that type of performance, I'd be more than happy, especially at a 6-hole. I took him in the 6th round, I think. But
wow.
Listen, I hope that's early. I think. Also, I was high on him. I took him where I wanted him, so hopefully he could live up to it.
Yeah, there's still X factors over here. We won't know until we know.
Yeah.
But Mike Mann batting 1, I love that. His batting average may not show it here, but I think that he's actually going to hit better than that this year. I think he's going to trend upwards. He goes line to line, draws walks.
And
He's
speed
pesky,
also.
and he's fast.
Fast.
So I like that a lot.
He'd have a ton of ground balls.
Albert obviously bats 500 or 400 or 600 or 700 every year. Pretty consistent. You're not going to kill anybody in the gaps, but you're going to hit line drives to all fields, singles, doubles.
And that's what I want to do. I want to just get on base for the guys that are there.
Exactly right. Because then you have Mickey, who I will say, we don't know what version you get. I've seen him play at Coyle Street, and he's hitting the building, 350 feet away. And then sometimes he'll come here and strike out swinging at a pitch that was over his head. So,
which is also why I say it's tentative. Like, honestly, I don't want to put that type of pressure on Mickey to get in his own head. That's why I'm okay moving him wherever down the lineup. If Freddie or Salim end up coming in, I can move Salim into 3, letting Mickey, give some protection even to Hammer, and just know that he's there, and not that crazy pressure. It's variable, right?
Well, I think the fact that you got Mickey so late in the draft, or not, I shouldn't say late, but you got him where I thought he should have won a round or 2 higher. I think that already should take a lot of pressure off of him, just because he has all these other guys to rely on,
definitely.
whether it's Hammer, Mike, Aldi, maybe Salim and Freddie. I think that he should be all right, given that he's in such a stacked lineup.
Also, Nissim, I gotta say, 469.
From your 7 is great.
From my 7, if he puts up over 400, over 350, I'm happy at the 7 slot. So, listen, if he can do that, if Ovi, I hear he's fast at speed. That's all I want at the bottom of my lineup is speed.
Yeah. I like this lineup a lot. I like this team a lot. I think that, depending on what you get out of Hammy and Joey Habert, this lineup is 1 through 9 could get you.
Yeah, DT gave me a really good report on Hammy's back. He said somehow he was in the middle. I think he won 2 seasons ago. And DT told me when I was talking to him about Hammy, he was saying that somehow he didn't even understand, but he was in the middle of every single big rally that they had when they were going to take home that championship 2 seasons ago. So listen, if he could just get involved, put balls in play, that's really all I wanted at 10 holes. Set the lineup for everybody else that's coming up at the top of the lineup, and just get on base. I just want guys that are going to get on base. That's like sort of my mentality as a hitter. The more we can get on base, the more damage we can do. And that's really how I want them to play. Base to base, smart, softball, and that's,
The fact that your rookies and like your X factors are batting 5th and 6th in a lineup where he was taken 1st overall. It just goes to show how deep this lineup goes. And I think that for me, this team has got to be an A. I think that this is a great team. This is a team to beat.
I appreciate that.
If Ike and Isaac want to come up and give their grades.
Any words?
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Break it down.
I'm not really sure how to use this, but my question mark is for sure the outfield. I think it's not as strong as the other outfields in the league by far, and I think you're wasting yourself in show center field. I think you at third base or you even at shortstop you're the best third baseman in the league, and you're not playing third base. So I think you at short center field is kind of a waste.
Right.
That's my opinion. And the second half of the lineup, I'm not so high on. But I do love the top of your lineup. I do think Salim's going to be great. But I would grade this team a B.
Okay, that's fine. Gotcha. And I acknowledge what you're saying, because when I was drafting, I knew that my biggest, especially when I took everybody in the draft going, because also my mentality when we're playing the league, it's like you're going to have to fill 5 positions across the infield, and you have 3 in the outfield. So I drafted early Mike Mann, Mickey Epstein, Mike Mann, and me are 2, 3, 4 rounds. And then I took Salim 1. Everyone in my outfield has to be round 5 and later.
I feel like you should have drafted the third base. I think you should have been third base and gotten a good outfield.
But that's why also I needed that Mickey was a value pick. It was like best off the board at the time. Sure. I had to take that pick and I had to take it. Exactly. He came to me and that's where it was. He fell into my lap at that opportunity. Listen, that's also why I love the guys on my team. I love my team. I want to see them week 1. But if it turns out that the outfield is horrible and we can't play, then we have moves to make, and we have guys that that.
Everyone can use a good third base.
Exactly. Right? Everyone can use a solid, even he plays shortstop. Like, he has a really solid glove.
He's great.
I mean, I'm not putting Mickey on the block, but I'm excited to play with him. I'm just saying that I had to take him because he was the best value available at the time, and I'm surprised he fell into my lap where he did, and I had to take him. And also, I never had an opportunity to play with him. We always loved talking to each other at third base, so it was always fun. So I'm happy and excited to play with him, but also I definitely hear what you're saying about me in short center. I do.
I agree with what Isaac said. I think the outfield is suspect. I think it is. It's weak just based on the fact that I don't know if any of these guys are proven compared to what's out there and the ones that we know. Again, I think you kind of did put yourself in a position where Epstein kind of causes a little bit of a problem because of the fact that you're playing a position that's you could do more with your talent. And again, if you have to go and you are the better third baseman, what do you do with Mickey? So it kind of, again, even that to me is a lock situation because You move him out, then would you accomplish? It's like, where do you put him?
Right.
So I think that's somewhat of the problem. I think the outfield, and I think that you are the better third baseman. I think everyone here agrees on that. But then where does that leave you? I agree, best value on the board at the time, I think it was 4th round.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You took him in the 4th round. The guy, you needed that bat.
Mm.
There's no question you needed that bat. And again, you have a very scary 1 through 5 lineup. Again, I don't know too much of the rest of the lineup. I think that's really the way it is with most of this league. I think you're gonna have to see how the 6 through 10 fall into play. I agree with Isaac. I think a B is adequate. I think it has to be proven to deserve more. I think on paper it looks good, but I think it needs to be proven.
Also, another thing though that I was going for, especially with Mickey and the infielders, is that we are playing with 12, and there are a lot of rules that substitutions. So I also want variability, and I want my guys to be able to play. I want to see them play. Like, I'm also okay. Like, here, I'm gonna sit. I'll take an inning off. Like, I'll sit. Like, if it means the field, and depending on the situation in the game. So I want to be able to have, it makes things easier. I wanted that variability. Like, I can go out, I can come in. Joseph could play right field, he could play catcher. Nisim could play catcher, you can go out into the infield. I like the
I
variability.
think Nisim, did he not play first at some point?
Yeah, he had down first base.
No, not that you're pulling Hammer out, but again.
Yeah, but even also Joey experiences, like, you know,
Yeah.
even for guys, I know it's not a big deal, but like, even for me, my first time DHing, I was playing in the night league. It's a big difference to be able to not play in the field and be DH, but Joey has that experience also. If he has to sit a couple innings and put Nisim at first, he could, you know, we know his bat's not going anywhere if you're sitting on the bench. For me, and my worst season ever, because I wasn't playing in the field when I was in night league and I was sitting on the bench and I was just taking my bats, it's very hard to stay engaged. So also for guys that are going to be on the bench this season, it's going to be hard. They have to be able to take those like mental reps, I guess they say, and stay involved. Or else, you know, you're going to have at bats that aren't really, you know, putting much up. You're having a guy that 5th, 6th inning, he's taking a swing, and then he's sitting down for another 3, 4, 5 innings, and you want to keep him engaged.
I also agree with Morty. I think even you going to center field is probably the no-brainer at this point, only because you need a general out there.
Right.
You need a leader who's going to direct traffic out there.
But could
So-
Freddie play the infield?
Huh?
Could Freddie play the infield?
So I got to actually tell you,
Again, I think it's
I
still
think Albert
better.
has to go to the outfield.
I think it's still better.
so if you really want to
Also,
know,
you in the outfield is good, but you at third base is great.
so if you really want to
But
know,
then what does that do for Mickey?
Right.
But
That's
you
what
wanna-
I'm saying.
You want to hear my thought process? Honestly, what I was going to do week 1 is this. I also don't think, in terms of when I was looking at lineups around the league, there are only 1 or 2 lineups that are going to blow me away in the outfield, right? I don't think that there are many lineups that are going to be 1 through 10 consistently a threat. Most lineups 1, 3, 4. So my approach really also is going to be game 1. I want to see how Freddie's going to do out there, especially versus you guys. You know, you have some solid bats, but also I could have some guys on your team that I'll leave him out there. Like, you know, like I'm not. I don't know. Can I call out names?
You can call out names.
Like,
I'll defend it later.
but I'm saying towards the bottom half of your lineup, I don't think you have really gap to gap power. I think you have a lot of guys that are pull heavy, a lot of guys that are maybe going to prone to pop ups or really want to spray the ball in the infield, but aren't really going to drive a guy out there. And I want to see how Freddie plays. If Freddie's serviceable in those situations, I actually may go 4 outfielders and play the outfield, and then I have trust in Mike Mann and Mickey to cover that. You know, that left side of the infield, and then I'm 4 out there, and nothing's getting past us at 4 if he could play center field.
I think you know more about Freddie than you're letting on.
No, I don't. I really don't.
Because there's no way in hell you're putting yourself in short center and trusting someone you don't know in center field. That's my theory.
But that's also why I said it's very working. I'm using, but even better, can I tell you something? I'm
He's not denying it.
No. I've never seen him play. I heard good things about him. But also that's why I'm okay with Salim not being there week 1.
Right.
Because week 1 is literally just a spring training for me and my mentality. My pitcher's not there. I want to see everyone plays in the field. Morty's going to see, I'm going to be moving guys all over the place week 1. Everyone's going to be playing everywhere, so I can see
Oh,
how
you
guys
have that
handle.
versatility. You
Yeah.
definitely have it.
That's
you,
my
you
weak
can
point.
make those moves, but
Listen,
again,
I hope it works out. I got to
your
tell you.
infield is phenomenal. I think your infield is as good as it's
But
going
it's
to
not
get.
going to stay as is.
It's
Well,
not
I agree.
staying
I don't see it that way either.
I think the team becomes better without the out there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I do agree.
And
with
I
that.
got to tell you something. Why I'm doing
They don't
this,
need you up the middle.
but why I put this on paper is Because if this works,
And
then I
you're-
think
you're
my
gold.
team's in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, then I could
100%.
move.
That's
to
why I
wherever it has
didn't
to
give
be.
you that A,
Right.
because I just, you don't even know yourself that it's
No,
working.
it's I know, but that's why I drafted. I felt like, and I guess I'll go into my little bit of my mentality on the draft, like into the behind the scenes. I felt like there were so many guys that were unknown in the league that I played to just. I'm going for high upside. I'm going to play for a solid 4, but high upside.
Yeah.
Because I know guys like Hammer are going to hit Epstein, Mickey, and that was my first. When I'm going through Salim, I'm starting with Salim as a question mark. I've never seen him pitch. He's never pitched in the league, but I wanted to go high upside. But after those 3-4 guys that I know, I'm like, you know what? Freddie, unknown. Nissim, I haven't really seen him play. Ovi has been in the league in 2 years. Roller Joseph, 16, hasn't played.
No, your top 5 can take, the top 5
right.
to 6 can take you the whole way.
Yeah.
But now if these guys start flashing the
This is the
upside,
best top of the lineup in the
Yeah.
league.
if these guys
Yeah.
can,
Yeah.
if these guys can flash upside like I think they can, and even if they exceed what we expect them to do in their draft slots, then I think it's a
Also,
good
with
lineup.
that being said, you brought it up before, I probably would move Hammer to 3,
Mhm.
because I think he needs that protection.
Yeah.
He's one of your better hitters, and
You want him in the first inning.
you want him. Well, yeah, that only matters for the first inning, but in
Yeah,
reality,
but the thing is though, it's just me and
know,
Mike Man, I think I may get
know,
it that Joey's getting up in the first inning.
I-
It depends on it, but that's my goal.
I think you
right?
could afford to
Nobody
drop.
bats 1,000.
No,
I
no
think you
bats
could
down.
afford to put Mickey behind Hammer.
Yeah.
Because I batted behind Hammer, and I had a very good season. I think he
Mhm.
needs that protection, and it'll actually benefit Mickey knowing that they got to pitch to Hammer, and if they don't, he's gonna see.
Right. And also Salim hits and Salim's behind him and then the Mickey has that protection. They're not gonna really they're gonna have to
I
come
think I batted you third, right?
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
you were behind me.
I moved him to third. I had Bernie at 2, and Hammer at 3, and they had phenomenal years. And
Bernie also
again, you'll feel it out, but
yeah, you gotta feel it out. You gotta feel it out. But listen, I'll definitely take the criticism. I hear that it's definitely our question marks. I understand the rating of the B. I hope that the guys can do it. Do we have a trade deadline?
We'll get there. We'll
Okay.
get there.
But listen, if not, we have some Moj bombs or Joey bombs, and we'll see what we can do. But right now, I'm really enjoying the guys. They're-
Joey Sakal's always up for a trade.
yeah, exactly. But also, I really also got to tell you another thing that I was going for when I was doing this, because I've played on a lot of teams. It's almost like my 10th year in the league. And there's a difference between even the guys that you're taking, where I played on some teams with guys that are very competitive, but also can get a little wild at times. And I like in terms of how we're already communicating with the guys in the chat and how everyone's interacting. It seems like everyone's, cool, calm, collected.
Yeah,
just want to be
you have
like
yeah,
I want
you
to.
don't have that outspoken
Yeah,
guys
I
that
want
are going to cause ruckus or
Exactly. I don't want arguments. I
Yeah,
don't want
exactly.
people going crazy. I don't want
Right.
guys screaming at guys in the other
Right.
team. I want to just put our heads
And
down,
that goes
play
for every team in the
softball.
league.
Yeah, I just we've seen our fair share of situations, I guess you could say.
Everyone's a Gold Glover. Everyone's an MVP.
Exactly.
Everyone's phenomenal. Just go and do what you got to do.
Exactly. So that's why I wanted guys that are just going to put their heads down, play softball, and have fun together.
Looks
So,
good. And
job.
thank you, Joe, Albert. And let's prove me right.
Yeah.
Cool.